Hi, this is Sunny Cheese. I'm Code bringing you another Terran strategy. Whew, finally got the intro correctly. So how are you guys today? And girls, I can't forget that too. Can't be one-sided. Uh, I hope you guys all had a good Thanksgiving if you were in the North America. Or America in general, because I live here. No duh, what am I talking about? So yeah, strategy, oh yeah, forgot to introduce. This strategy is the Terran standard strategy, standard build to put you in a good economic spot and at the advantage on top of your opponent if your opponent does not know what he is doing. So, we're going to start off with a 10 supply depot and 12 barracks and 13 refinery as usual. From there, you can go into, let's say, factory tech or more barracks for a bio-heavy army. So what I did here was I sent my SCV out to scout my opponent, and then I dropped my barracks at 12. Scouting is very important to see what your opponent's doing. Like, if I didn't know what my opponent was doing and it was Protoss or Zerg, I might have had, let's say, hatchery in my base for proxy hatch or proxy pylon for gateways. Usually Protoss does this. They put their pylons right here and then the power of their gateways right here. 2, proxy gate 2, very bad situation for Terran. So you see I got my 13 refinery going down. Here, I'll close this for a sec. And I'm continually making SCVs as usual, like I said in my previous strategy videos. Didn't come out. Now you build that marine and 16 supply, you get that other supply depot, and you get that orbital command. So really anything else I have to say? It's very normal. And I did a mistake of just leaving my SCV here. And that marine's going to kill my SCV. So, from here, I went into factory tech after I got my 100 gas. And when you go into factory, you also want to drop that other refinery, which I didn't know at the time. So, let's see. Build a bunker right outside my base, and I was planning the expo after my 400 minerals right here. And it's very important to also have the Zelnaga tower. And I built a supply depot here so that when they put up like scouting units around here, that I knew that they were pushing. Because usually when people push, they bring a couple units and take these towers just to make sure that their opponent doesn't have like extra units over here pushing up or something. Waiting for my supply, and I do go into factory tech, as you can see, and making constant SCVs, making constant marines. Then I drop my command center. This is, I would say, pretty standard. Getting my command center at 5 minutes, that puts me at a very good position. Like my opponent, he was going to push with a large bio army right now. So if he does push, I could just drop a couple of marines down there and put up a couple bunkers with FCVs with mass repair. Then I would survive this attack. And I went over here to get my tech lab, and creating the tech lab will allow me to get my stim pack. I also made Hellions for scouting purposes. It's good to keep scouting your opponent. Well, that was kind of a mistake there for me. I was just checking out what kind of army they had, army composition. Usually the bots go for bio, but against Terran, you have to go mech, or you can go heavy air, which is very costly. Air is very costly. battle cruisers, Vikings, and Banshees. Very, very, very not very cost effective. So I decided to go Hellions and Marines. Not the best idea either, but ended up saving me because my Marines would take out the Marauders and my Hellions would take out the Marines. So no DPS on Marines, even if they have Stim. So I'm researching Stim right now. I'm getting a starport right in front of my base. That's not very smart. But besides that, micro your Hellions, only attack Marines. Mass repair bunker, I didn't quite do that correctly, but it's always a good idea to keep a couple SCVs. Also, after the first initial attack, either you or opponent, you want to tech switch because your opponent knows what you're doing now, and if you keep producing the same units, it'll just harm you in the long run. Like my opponent, after his first initial attack, he switched into Hellions because he knew that I was going mass Marine, but I knew I can't stay on Marines for too long, so I tech switched into Starport, and I also tech switched into Siege Tech and Factory. But I have no idea why I'm dropping these two. Probably Marauders, but yeah, for Marauders. So I decided to push, but it ended up unsuccessful because I lost half my army in the process. Yeah, but against a computer it should be easier. So Starport, I have my tech lab. I'm going Banshees, or what's that name? The Ravens. Ravens are very good as well. Ravens can stop battle cruisers, siege tank, and I think Marines, if I'm not mistaken. Their point defense drone is very effective against Protoss. I just don't know why people don't use it as much. Oh, never mind, I got a reactor. Double medevac. Sorry for that, my error. But yeah, my opponent went mass Hellion and Marines because he knew that I was going Marines, and he also switched into Ghost Tech, going for Ghosts later on. Also getting those upgrades. Upgrades are very important because every little bit helps. Every little bit, and you should probably get another command center at around 10 minutes because every 5 minutes it helps. Getting a third expansion. As you can see, I switched into siege mode. I mean siege tech. After this push, I'd probably switch into. If this failed, I would switch into heavy bio and Thors, and then eventually transition into mech, because mech, like I said, is very effective against Terran because usually opponent goes bio or just basic factory units, which doesn't help them a lot. In the meantime, I'm not producing SCVs, which I'm supposed to, but at least I'm getting the mules going and command centers done. Getting turrets helps a lot too against armies. Like drops, I would actually also put a turret here just in case my opponent comes, and like the computer does, I would also put one of these here just in case for a push or something. But also maintain constant SCV production, like I'm doing here. I'm going into mech heavy, but first I'm getting a bunch of bio units such as Marines and tanks. So here's how it should go. Your build style. I mean, this changes all the time, but my preference, I like to go first Hellions, then Marines, and then Marauders. Bio composition into heavy. I'm getting distracted here. Bio composition into heavy infantry and siege tank, and then I get a couple of medevacs plus Vikings. Then I finish it off with going into air or going into mech, depending on the style of build. So now my push succeeded, and I'm actually going to push with siege tanks and marines now. If this hadn't succeeded, if my push hadn't succeeded, I'd go into mech, get a couple more factories, drop another command center for the extra refineries, because mech relies heavy on gas intense builds. If this didn't work, then I would switch into battlecruisers and Vikings, because battlecruisers can do some major attack. But this attack failed, and my opponent switched tech into siege tank, marines, and Vikings. So, but this is easy to counter with just marines and Hellions, with a couple of SCVs for repairs, and siege tanks. Well, siege tanks and marines counter almost anything. But a good idea is to just switch there. Like, medevacs can also act as overlords, if you're just wondering. Here, let me switch to my view. Medevacs can see what your opponent has up here. They're overlords, basically. If your opponent doesn't have any Vikings. Sorry for my macro slip. It's giant. Yeah, I could drop a couple of factories, get upgrades. Yeah, there we go. Drop another couple of bunkers, for marine production. Maybe drop a reactor. Get a couple more medevacs. But I decided to push in like this. Drops are effective as well, but it's not part of my strategy. I'll do another strategy video on drops and baneling drops, all that kind of stuff. So here's what I see in high level play. Opponent sends, how do I say this? You drop, and you also get a counter push up here, so that when you surprise your opponent, they'll be weak from the other side as well. So you can just charge up here and attack, flanking them basically. And now this is basically GG. I just need to send my forces up. Yeah, there's GG. So this is standard build for Terran, and also a bunch of other strategies for you guys. And this is Sunny Cheese. I'm Code. Thanks for watching.